Hey everyone, so welcome to today's video. And in this video I wanted to talk about using Photoshop. So for my work I use Photoshop and I work on a Wacom Cintiq. And a Wacom Cintiq is a big screen and you draw with this digital pen. So let me show it a bit. This is all I can show now. This is the Wacom and it's a screen you can draw on. But it's quite an expensive machine. And if you're just starting out, you can also buy another product of Wacom or any different tablet, just a regular one that isn't a screen. And I think that's great to start working digitally. And there's a lot of benefits on, you can draw digitally with a mouse. And now I wanted to work to show how I draw in Photoshop. So I will start share my screen now. So now we're sharing my my screen. And is it? Yes, it is. So how this works? This is Photoshop. And if you never use Photoshop, you can download a trial, I think, of 30 days. So what you do when you want to create a new file, go to File, New, and then you can create the file you want. And let's say we want to print, getting a print, and then resolution is millimeters, and how big is it in pixels? 2000 by 3000. 300 pixels per inch. That is for when you want to print, you want to have this resolution. And if you're going for digitally, you can use 70. So I'll start with this. And okay, so we now have this canvas, but my screen is widescreen, so I like to rotate it. So what you can do is you can rotate your canvas. If you go to image rotation, then you can 90-degree clockwise. So let's see how big it is. So this 50%. So that seems big enough. So first I want to have a sketching brush. So here I go to my brush settings. So I select this brush, and you can do that by B is for brush. And then I want to, so normally shape dynamics on. And if I turn it off, you see this. Then if I make a line, it's all thick everywhere. But if I use this, it's pressure sensitive, you see? So let's delete that. But what I want to do is turn the transfer on. And the smoothing is on 10. So, and if I put a smoothing on 0, yeah, now you don't see anything. But maybe I want to draw a circle. Or sometimes you get a bit of jittered lines, and now I don't. But if I put it on 100 and I draw a circle, you get this. They help you with making these perfect lines. So that can be great if you want to ink your drawing. So put the smoothing on. I put it normally around 10 when I'm just sketching. So more in Photoshop here, this is the layer panel. So here we see this is background and it's locked. You can unlock it by double tap it and click OK. So now it isn't locked anymore. And we have this layer. And if we draw something on this layer, and you can turn this layer on or off, and you can create a new layer and draw something with color. And these are the colors. I will talk about that a bit later. So here, draw this, and then put it under this. So now you can drag the layers on top or behind everything. So now we have that. Yeah, just let's start sketching. So I want to draw a head and also color it a bit. So let's start with drawing a ball for the head, and then something like this. So here, raise this a bit, and then add the ears, so something like this. So 2 ears. There's this line for the middle of the head to rotate it a bit, and then we can draw in the neck something like this. So it's a boy. Let's draw in the nose, nostril. And let's draw in the mouth, and let's make him smiling. Can just be a fairly generic character, because it's just for demo purposes. Eyebrows, and then the mouth, and then the teeth, and then here we erase this a bit. So now give him some hair, something like this. So the hair is on top of the skull. So then here, and then behind the ear. So we have this ear like this, and then this. And then here's some hair, and then let him look at us. So what I also sometimes do is I flip the image to check if it's looking okay. Sometimes you see some mistakes when you flip it. And how I do that, you can do that by edit, transform, flip horizontal. And you see that it does that. But what I did is going to window and then actions. You can make your own action. So if I would make a new action, you can call it flip vertical. For example, you call it how you want to call it, and then you, oh yeah, so I made a folder now. So I will call the action flip vertical. So, and that's because I pressed this. So now if I'm going to press record, it's going to record all my actions, and then I can assign it to a key. Transform, flip vertical. So, and that's all I want to do. You can add more actions and then stop. And now I can, if I now play, you see, it goes this. What I also can do is double click and then function key, and then I can give it a function key, for example, F5. Okay, so whenever I now press F5, it flips. So, and so yeah, there are a lot of actions you can come up with that are very handy. I sometimes also use it for my brushes and stuff like that, and so on. So here, so when I've made this rough sketch, I put it on lower opacity, and I make a new layer. And then what you can do is, if you have 2 layers and you want to combine them, you can select this layer too, and combine this one and press Ctrl E. So these 2 layers merge down. And I do that because then I can draw over on top of this. Yeah, I can draw on top of this, and then I can erase some stuff if I like to. So still sketching a bit on it. So adding the nose bridge. I don't want to make the video too long or too much about drawing. So if you want to see more drawing videos, you can look my other YouTube videos, or you can look up my Patreon or Gumroad for tips on how to draw. So let's put this here. Draw this iris, and then here this line, here and here, and then we can draw the eyebrows. Also here. So I'm now making all the lines thicker, so so I can color it after this step. Maybe fun if we give him this two teeth. So here, drawing them out. Just keep adding some details. So here the neck, here as well. So we want to create the ears, some thicker line. And what you can also do is with the bracket keys on your keyboard, you can make these eyelids. So I mean with these buttons on your keyboard, this and this one, this for making your brush bigger and this for smaller. So I'm using those brushes or those buttons a lot. So just keep adding. So, and normally I will take a bit more time for this and make the lines way neater, because they're now kind of rough, because I want to do it a bit fast, so everyone can see some interesting stuff instead of me inking the whole time. So now let's add this, some plugs of hair here and there, and let's here. So now we have this this character. So now we want to add some color. So put a layer under it. And what I often do is with the lasso tool, you can press L, or you can select this item here, this one. And now we're going to pick a color. So for the skin, maybe something like this. So yeah, I think for now it's okay. We're going to fix it later. So with the lasso tool, I go follow those outer lines, so like this. You know what? Let's do it a little bit different. Also take the hair. So we're going over the whole silhouette of the character. So the whole, everything we're going to color, we're going to select. And when I press Alt, I can do this as well. So, and I mean with this is that when you have your lasso tool, the smooth one, and then when you press Alt, you get this angular selective one. And when you drag, you draw with it. And now you can do this. Now I'm drawing with it. So that makes it really intuitive to draw with. So just keep adding. So now we have this, fill it. And you know what, also take a bit of this part with it. Maybe So something like this. So like this. So now we made this. What we can do now is make a new folder, Control G, and when you press Control and you click on the thumbnail, you select the color space. And now, if you press this button, it will create a mask of the selection on that folder. So like this. So now we made this. So now we can give this controller. But I'm not really happy with the skin color. So what we can do is Control U. Then we can change the skin color bits. I want to have a bit more red. I think this is okay. Make a new layer, and then for the eyes. So sometimes I like to color with the brush. So I take an hard brush and turn the transfer off in the brush settings. And I color the one eye. And the second eye. So like this. And then also here the teeth. So make a new layer and use that for the mouth. Now I want to this color like this. So for the colors I'm using HSB. So you can also use different ones, like SMIC or RGB. But I'm using HSB, and because here you can control easily the UV, saturation, and brightness. And in a different video, I will explain a bit more about that. So here, I did this, maybe the eyebrows and the hair. Let's put them all together. So here, this, that, and here. Now you can see why I made this mask, because I'm now drawing within this this mask, and because of that, you can you don't draw outside of this. So keep drawing in the hair. You can use the lasso tool or another tool or the brush tool to color it. The only important thing is with the brush tool is that you don't forget to forget some small spots. So now we have the hair. Let's do the irises and let's make them green. So something like this. And here. And here is this bit. Okay. And now give him a colored t-shirt. Maybe you can give it a blue color. Something like this. Again, if you don't like it, you can press Ctrl U. Then you get into UV saturation and you can change the color a bit, or the UV or the saturation or the lightness a bit. So now we have this. And if you want to shade this character a bit, you can make a new layer. We could put it on multiply. And what I normally do is I take this purple color and a bit of saturation, a bit of brightness, and then I draw on top of it. And now you see it's darker at its place, but it's can put it on top here. See it. If I put it on normal, you see this, and if I put it on multiply, you get this. So there's some layer effect you can use. So we can also use for under the nose. So here, and also maybe here. what you can also do is if you have these eyes and you press this button and you take a soft brush. So now we have a hard brush and I want a soft brush here, of a transparent brush, and I want to make it soft. You can go to brush tip, put the hardness all down and make the brush bigger. And now I can draw within this iris shape. Okay, so like this. So the light is coming from the top. And the funny thing is with the eyes is that it will light up here because of that. So, and can also give the eyeballs a bit of shadow. I want to give it a bit of warm shadow, because if you just use gray or something, it will get muddy. And we can also do that for the head. So adding here a bit, maybe here. So, and here's some lightness. Maybe also make this a bit, just a little bit darker. Not much. Maybe I also want the cheeks a bit redder. So just giving some touch like this. It's a bit too much. And then if it's too much, you can press Ctrl C. So when I do this and I press Ctrl C, it goes back. So give these eyes also a bit of color. So there's some life in him. Let's put a layer on top of it for some to draw in a bit of highlight. So I turned the softness off of the brush. I can make these a bit of sharper corners and these highlights a bit on the character. So here, also giving the lips and also making this mouth a bit darker. So like this, and the tongue is wet, so we can give it some highlights here. So here this should have some shadow, so something like this. Again, let's make some eye reflection, so layer on top, and oh, more on top. Let's put it here, so it's on top of those. And let's make a separate layer. What we can also do is, so like drawing here this, and you can play around with the opacity here to make it even lighter. Something like this. This works well. So then we take the eraser, press E, put the and the hardness down, and then we can make something like this. So here's these shiny eyes. So for the hair, let's draw in the hair. So let's do the overall shading a bit, so something like this. I think this, okay. So let's make different brush, and then let's draw in some hairs. So a bit of here and there, some texture feeling. Again, normally I will take some more time for this to get a nicer effect, or look up some brushes or something. Just some basic effect. So now we made this this character. So So, and the more things you can do, you can keep working on it, and then you can turn off these lines. And you can also color these lines. If you have this line work, you put this button on, and then you can make you take this brush, and then you can color the lines a bit so they have this color. So color the hair, t-shirts, and some nose here, so something like this. So now we drew this character. Give this map a name. Yeah, and more things you can do. You can also give this some extra lightning effect. So if we get this soft brush and we have this layer, we can put this layer on, for example, overlay. Give it some sunny effect on top of it. Or we want to give it some extra shadow. Often I use multiply. Maybe what happens if you put on some darkening? Oh, it will be everywhere. So we can also take the selection control of this mask and then there. So it's not really that great of an effect, but if we put it on multiply, so then it will be stronger. Go down a bit by the opacity. Maybe it gives some a little bit of extra effect. So we have that, and yeah, further I can't go into that now because that will take too much time. But you can look at window and then brushes. You can pick all these brushes. I don't use that many brushes. I have perspective brush, or here these brushes, and you have in Photoshop all these standard brushes that are yeah, in the Photoshop standard. You can use those to draw. And yeah, that's the video. And if you want to have more lessons, you can check out my Patreon site to sign up. And there I give weekly lessons with homework videos, and those lessons are a bit more in depth and a bit more, yeah, 1 hour long. And I also have a Gumroad page where I sell books. So if you go to gumroad.com/Leo, you can get these books. And that's what I wanted to tell. So leave me in the comments if you liked it. Yeah, and I hope you subscribe and to see more videos of me. And let me know if you have any question or request on what you would like to see next. So thanks for watching, everyone. And I hope to see you next time. So thanks.